Alright. I guess we're up. No drop frames. Live and recording. I don't need to record. Cool. Oh yeah, that's all I want. Alright. I'm just gonna crank this up. Hope it's not picking up too much ambient noise crap. I guess we'll see if people start bitching, or if whatever. Set up something in Twitch real quick. Should get my dashboard going. My chat. That's some basics, right? All right. What we're doing this stream is I'm learning ZBrush. It's the entirety of what's going on. You know, there's different ways of learning. I could go find tutorials, which I've done a bit of that, so I have some basic knowledge of how ZBrush works. But I want to focus on exactly what this program is capable of. I want to delve into the insides of it, and I figured the best way to do that is just literally go through all the documentation, which is mind-numbingly boring pretty much. But I want to touch on each aspect of this entire program. I just want to so then I can bounce around more and feel more comfortable with it. I'm always open for suggestions on stuff to do or tutorials to check out. Hit me up with that stuff. I'm all about it. Hell, maybe you know more about the Z-modeler brush than I do, which is probably the case because I don't know that much about it. I'm starting to learn a good bit. I'm running through these things so I'm just kind of going straight through it. I guess I skipped most of the 2D. Well, no, I mean I skimmed over the 2D stuff. I kind of understand how ZBrush does its 2D, but I'm most interested in the 3D, right? So modeling basics, creating meshes, gone through most of I've actually gone through all of them, just trying to, and I'll play around with them some if I'm doing one kind of edge selection type or something. I'll mess with it a little bit and try to figure it out so that I actually have a working knowledge of it. I'm also doing this thing where I'm working for 25 minutes in the tank. I'm taking a 5-minute break. I may spend some of that break, I guess if there's anyone to chat. I'm gonna probably spend some of that break getting water, going to the bathroom, whatnot. But 25-minute segments of specific work. It's just it's a way of keeping me organized and on top of it. So I'll let you know when those breaks are coming up. We got a good 15 minutes now. I also have the problem where I don't leave my desk. I just sit here forever and just keep going. Alright, where were we at? Z-modeler. Went through did I do curve actions? I think I was on polygon actions. Crease. Extrude. I'm sure I did extrude, right? That's. Equalize. Now, the Z modeler section has a pretty nice group of videos. I'm probably gonna watch those when I get kind of stumped, because like this equalize thing, like the wording here is pretty vague, sort of. I mean, it's very specific, but I don't. My knowledge is such that I don't really know enough about this. What it's trying to do. I guess it's just trying to make everything squares. I don't know. Let's see what it does on the model. All right. Flop down some polymesh. Initialize into a square, because that, I don't know. Let's keep it basic. Drag it out. Edit it. Clear my documents. I like having a floor. Shit. Yeah, if you any questions about stuff that I'm doing, if I go too fast and like you're curious about something, like again, this is a learning stream. I'm trying to learn. If you're trying to learn, I'll help with stuff like that. If you got basic questions about how to move the model around, like anything, I'm up for it. Let's see. I like to turn local off. Some of this is just preference, I think. All right. Getting the Z modeler brush. Z modeler brush. We're looking at equalize. See, what I'm afraid of is this is clean geometry, so I'm going to try to import some craziness I made. Let's go ahead and open all those. This might do it. No. I'm grabbing points is what's happening. Or was it an edge or something? Okay, I can't tell what it's trying to do. Let's try something still just as crazy. Alright, it's making me delete subdivision levels. So I'm gonna do that. Geometry, right? Delete higher. Okay, so that's good. God, I don't understand. Okay, all right, I gotta watch that video. I think I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to make it like more square or something. I don't really understand why you would ever want that, or why, in what situations that would be really good. Okay, so I'm looking at this. There's these Z modeler videos. I want to avoid looking at these too much, like on stream, but I really don't understand what this one is. equalize.
When using the Z-Modeler brush, hover over a poly and press spacebar to open up the Z-Modeler poly menu. At the top, there is the Flip Faces action. When the Flip Faces action is selected, you'll see a series of targets in which you can use Flip Faces on. The Flip Face action will allow you to come through your model and flip faces on your actual mesh. Now this doesn't delete the face, but actually just flips the actual normals.
What?
So if I view the model from this side here, you'll see that I cannot see those faces, but if I start to rotate around the model, you'll see those faces are visible on the other side. Now one thing
why
to
would
watch
you
out
want
for
to do
when
that?
using this Flip Faces option is to make sure that over here under the tool menu, underneath display properties, that you do not have double turned on. Double will allow you to see both sides of a face as they're viewed on screen. So if you come through and start flipping faces, you're going to notice you're not going to see a change. So this may cause issues in your model if you need to generate items that are watertight or have non-manifold edges. Another good example of the Flip Faces option is to use the target of all polygons. This is specifically interesting when trying to generate shapes or inner dimensions to certain objects. So I have just a cylinder here, and if I turn off double, you can see that the normals are just facing outward. If I come through and do Flip Faces all polygons, it's going to flip the entire mesh's faces inward, giving me an inner surface to this geometry. I can then use this inner surface along with QMesh, Polygroup All, to generate an inner dimension to a cylinder object. This may be helpful when creating items such as tubes or cylindrical objects on your mesh to add greater detail and dimensions to your model.
So why doesn't that work though? Why doesn't that work without the...
To generate an inner dimension to a cylinder object. This may be helpful when creating items such as tubes or cylindrical objects on your mesh to add greater detail and dimensions to your models.
Alright. I'll keep that in mind. That's probably important later. That was just like show me the flip brush. That didn't show me what equalize did.
Faces action. When
Yeah,
the flip faces
this is the flip face
selected,
one.
you'll see a series.
What is that garbage? Weird. Maybe I accidentally
With the
skipped
Z-Modeler
it?
brush selected, hover over a poly and press spacebar to open up the Z-Modeler poly menu. With the menu open, locate the Equalize action. Underneath the Equalize action, you'll see a series of targets that Equalize can be used on. The Equalize function inside a Z-Modeler, when used with a poly, will attempt to take the poly that you have selected and turn it into a perfect square. So if I hover over this poly here, you can see it says Equalize a poly. Clicking and dragging will start to conform this poly to that square shape. You may have to repeat this process a few times in order to get that poly to a perfect square. And then after it has reached a perfect square, you will not be able to equalize it any further. This process works really well when needing to create perfectly square objects on your model, to generate holes or other items with when using the QMesh action.
Oh god, I don't know what a QMS action is. Man, equalize, what the fuck? Man, I still don't understand this one.
With the Z-Modeler brush selected, hover over a poly and press spacebar to open up the Z-Modeler poly menu. With the menu open, locate the Equalize action. Underneath the Equalize action, you'll see a series of targets that Equalize can be used on. The Equalize function inside a Z-Modeler, when used with a poly, will attempt to take the poly that you have selected and turn it into a perfect square. So if I hover over this poly here, you can see it says Equalize a poly. Clicking and dragging will start to conform this poly to that square shape. You may have to repeat this process a few times in order to get that poly to a perfect square.
Huh.
And then after it has reached a perfect square, you will not be able to equalize it any further. This process works really well when needing to create perfectly square objects on your model to generate holes or other items with when using the QMesh action.
I definitely don't. QMesh, I think I'm a little bit iffy on what exactly QMesh is and how it's different than just extrude or something. Fuck. Alright, flip faces I sort of get. Delete and do nothing are kind of self-explanatory. Equalize, I don't know. Let's do extrude. Let's just, okay, that one is pretty basic. Alright. Oh shit. With an extrude action, click and drag. Control stops the extrusion, switches to move. Shift disconnects extrusion from its adjacent polygons. What? Oh, weird. Alright. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, and then I could even do that with like this, right? I could do flat island or something and documentation is wrong, by the way. Control does that. Bam! Finding bugs in the documentation. Because shift transitions it into a move. This and on the screen, it doesn't say either any of them. I don't know exactly how to use that, but I'll figure it out eventually. It's I think having separated pieces like this can be useful, and I want to know in what ways. Like I can probably I can probably flip these. Polygroup all. Flip that. I probably don't even need to flip it. Hold on. If I bridge this with this, what happens? Not what I wanted to do. Those bridges are weird. See, I think what's happening is, like I said, I think I need to flip those. Okay, so if I flip these, flip faces, go. I need to show. Fuck, visibility. What is it? Flip something. I want double-sided visibility. I don't know how to do that. I forget how to do it. Hold on. Display properties. There we go. Alright. But I flipped them. So I want to see what a bridge does. Ah, see? I want to see if I can fill a hole up there too. This will be cool. Alright, after I do this, well, even that too, I want to try that. Okay, on this edge. Where is it? Where is it? It's edge or something? Fuck. No, I don't want to do two holes. Do nothing, crease, collapse, close. Close, maybe. Oh shit. Kinda. Yeah, but probably. Like, what decision would I have made here? You know, I might have done something slightly different. But I bet I can fix that somehow. Well, whatever. That's all I was trying. Okay. Well, I accomplished something. I pulled some faces off and made. Okay, now let's turn double off. Cool. See, now that's a little solid little piece of geometry. Cool. Oops, don't do that. I want to move this poly group out more. Oh shit, why are those the same? I just wanted to move this poly group. Yep. Bam. Cool. Alright, interesting. Reason to pull faces off. Like, that could be, I mean, you could get, like, multiple pieces with the same surface geometry, you know, just by pulling stuff off. Alright, I'm going to take a break. I'll be right back. This is just literally get up, go to the bathroom, drink some water, 5-minute break. I will be right back. Alright, I'm back. I guess I can turn that off. Alright, yeah, just had to take a little break. I'm doing this thing where I'm work for 25 minutes, take a break for 5 minutes. And then you do that for like, I think it's supposed to be three or four times. I think 4. And then you can take like a longer break, like a 30-minute break, something like go get some lunch or something. We'll see if I'll stick to that. I might want to stream longer than that, because I figure I'll just take the stream down if I'm 35 minutes, right? Just here, I link in chat. I'm linking the docs page that I'm using. Feel free to read along with me. Like, tell me if you think there's something cool I should be checking out. That lets me mess with this a lot. I guess you guys probably heard the dog. That's Ronan. He's a nut job. All right. Where are we at now? Edge. I got onto edge targets for somehow. Okay, I was on polygon targets. No, I wasn't. I'm not looking at polygon actions. Alright. Equalize, extrude, flip faces. Equalize. That's, I'm sure I bet it's helpful sometime, at some point, but I'll figure that out later. Flip faces was cool because I was creating, like I created this segment because I could flip the faces on the back here. And I had to put on two-sided from the display properties, double, which was fine. It worked out. I think I could probably clean some of this shit up. There's probably some easy ways. I mean, I'm not really making anything either. I'm you know, going, just kind of making some abstract forms, seeing how I can push this thing around, push the polygons around. I'm like I said, I'm really new to this, so. And if anybody at any point has any advice or directions they think I should be going, links to tutorials, anything. A little bit. I have some like traditional sculpture experience, but only just a little bit with ZBrush. I mean I know a little bit about what's that remesher thing? Dynamesh. I played with Dynamesh for a while, and some of the brushes. I was going through the brushes, and now I'm trying to figure out like the inner workings of ZBrush. I want to know more about like right now I've just been doing the Z modeler brush. Just trying to figure out how that one works, and going through all the documentation, just one step at a time. Just how about you? Have you mousy code? Are you experienced in modeling at all, or? All right. Or I guess any part of the process, I guess. I used to be a tester too. It's kind of what got me interested in trying to make models or trying to make assets or anything for a game. Blender, yeah. We use Blender a little bit in testing. I don't know how to use it very well at all though. And everybody I worked with really hated it. It's good that it's free. That's definitely cool. But they were all used to, like, I guess 3ds 3ds Max. Yeah, I'll probably have to use some Blender here at some point, but gonna focus on ZBrush for a while. Yeah, it's pretty nice. I know it's not. I don't know if this is interesting to you at all, but Sculptress, it's like they're free. It's like it kind of gives you like a little, like a feeling of like sculpting more than something like Blender does, but and you can just download it for free from their website. I'll throw down the link. So Sculptress is cool because it's not quite as, you can't get like, I mean, maybe they've improved it, but when I used it like a while ago, like you couldn't get like the polygons would get like messed up a little bit somehow. Like they kind of like stretch weird, so you get like really messy geometry. But it's like fun. It's cool to play with. You can get some cool models, and it gives you more of a sense of like it feels like there's a piece of clay sitting in front of you, you know. And ZBrush can do the same thing as Sculptress can. It's got the same technology in there. But I think that one's a fun starter thing to mess with. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Alright, let's see what inflating a polygon does. Huh. Balloon as if it's being blown up. Modifier defines the direction and the deformation it shapes. Modifier is a face, edge, point normal. Alright, I'm just gonna have to go through all these and try them. What happens if I do all polygons? Yeah. Alright. Oh, okay, single polygon by edge normal. What does that do? That seems about the same. Like that. Point normal. That seems like it's stretching it by the points a little bit more. That's kind of cool. Yeah, don't forget to save, right? What do you want, dog? to take him out in a second. Outside, I mean. Insert nanomesh. Oh, weird. I think there's a way to change these nanomeshes too. I saw a tutorial about this dude made like a building structure out of these nanomeshes because you can randomize them and stuff. It seemed pretty interesting. Cool that you can add them just with the brush. Oh, there we go. Tool nanomesh parameters. Nanomesh, there we go. So yeah, see, there's all this stuff. You can see it's like changes the variability of them and stuff. I'm not gonna mess with those yet. I bet there's like a whole section about nanomeshes and later on. Insert point. This seems pretty straightforward. And then you could do some like move point stuff and alright. That seems pretty straightforward. Insert poly loops. Alright, let's see what happens. I don't know quite why it's picking those forms. Why would it pick these boxes right here? Alright. All polygons. Shit, I might have just crashed it. Yep, there it goes. And that's why you save. ZBrush is kind of finicky. It's like you can push the math so that it breaks. It just breaks. Oh, see, maybe it didn't even crash. Maybe my computer is just thinking about it. I think I put too many. I just did too much. Yeah, there it goes. Oh shit! I shouldn't have tried to move it. Just close. Alright. I'm gonna just start with the fresh tool. Put out a polygon, change it with initialize. I want a cube. I like having the floor on it. Dogs are going crazy. messing with. Z modeler brush. AZM is the hotkey. We're doing insert poly loops. All right. Grid mode. All right. Sunburst mode. That's cool. Gives some. Yeah, I don't quite understand like what this is for yet. Like these kind of like brushes like this and. I probably need to learn these targets a little bit better too. I don't like the difference between like what's flat inner. I don't no clue. And it does that. Like what the hell? It's making so much geometry. Some things up and down do something, and left and right, but it doesn't seem to affect it. That's what I've been looking for. Poly loop. Giving some dimensionality. I don't know. I don't really know why. Huh. Well. Alright, that's what insert polyloops does. Wait. Yeah. Insert point. Inset is this, right? I don't quite get the point of that either. These little triangle. I mean, I guess it's cool that you can like, you could probably move this, you know. But I don't know. Well, this is cool. You can do like and do what was it? Flat island. Do something like that. Masking is something I need to get better at as well. I don't quite know how to use it, but it'll will happen. Mesh to brush. The mesh to brush action converts the target geometry to a nanomesh brush, ready for applying later as a nanomesh. This action can only create nanomesh brushes. To create an insert mesh or IMM brush, you would instead need to use tool geometry, modify topology, mesh from brush, and create your desired brush. I gotta watch the video for this one. Oh, this has to be nanomeshes.
With the Z-Modeler brush selected, hover over a poly and press spacebar to open up the Z-Modeler poly menu. Locate the Mesh to Brush action. With the Mesh to Brush action selected, you'll see a series of targets and then 2 modifiers down below. The Mesh to Brush action will allow you to generate a nanomesh based on the selected target. So right now I just have the target set to a single poly, so if I click on this poly here on my mesh, you're going to notice that the Z-Modeler brush icon is going to change to reflect that poly. So now I have that single poly stored in this actual brush. So now if I switch to the action of insert nanomesh and target of a single poly, I can now come through and apply that copied element to other areas on my mesh. Now switching back to mesh to brush and then using a target such as all polygons will generate a larger effect. So now when I click on the surface of the model here, it's going to look at all the polygons and then generate a nanomesh from that. So just click anywhere on my model, and as you can see that the Z-Modeler brush icon has been updated, and now I have this whole mesh stored inside the brush. So now if I switch back to insert nanomesh, now when I click on the surface here, it's going to actually draw that nanomesh out that was based on that all polygons target. So this will allow you to come through and replicate an object you have and use it as a nanomesh. Just undo in here quick. And now going back to the mesh to brush action, there are 2 modifiers down here, and these just correspond to when you actually click the mesh to brush, how the orientation is established. So as you can see, when I just had this aligned to mesh orientation, it's just basically looking at the mesh on the screen. So when we actually used that insert nanomesh, it was pretty much drawing the shape out as it was based on the screen. Now if I switch to, say, the align to click face normal, it's going to actually look at the face I click on and then generate that nanomesh based on the orientation of that face. So if I come back to the all polygons, mesh to brush, and have align to click face normal selected, if I just click on this
I guess maybe this is really cool.
you're now
Like
going
nanomeshes
to get a nanomesh
awesome.
generated based on
I don't really understand nanomeshes though.
face, right? So now if I come in and say go to insert nanomesh and a single poly, it's going to generate a shape that's going to be aligned to that actual face normal. So using those modifiers, you can kind of determine the alignment of your shape before you actually turn to a nanomesh to draw on the actual model. So using these options, you can come through and start applying all these different nanomeshes that you have captured, and then further modify them with the nanomesh palette to generate different effects on your model.
Could be cool. Maybe do some like spiky bits off of something, or I don't know. All right. All right, move. I'm assuming move seems pretty straightforward. Let me just make sure since I'm going through it now. Align to normal. Align to axis. Interesting, it's kind of I like that. That's pretty cool. I don't understand what the difference between those two settings are. Maybe the axis and the normal are too similar in this object or something. I don't know. I don't really quite understand what a normal is either, so got a lot of shit to learn, but that's good. Polygroup action generates a new polygroup. Okay. That's interesting. All right. All right. That's how shift works. If you click and then hit shift, it'll select that polygroup. So you can. So if I wanted it to be the pink one, I can. And then you can move by polygroup, I think. Yeah, move. See, it'll move all the ones that are in that group. That looks complicated. 3 sides. Poly order. Damn. You know. Alright, I'm gonna watch a video for this one. polygroup. Sometimes the videos
With
seem
the
to
Z-modeler
give a
brush
little
selected, hover
extra
over a poly
information,
and
so
press spacebar to open up the Z-modeler poly menu.
I'm checking it out.
Locate the polygroup action. Underneath the polygroup action, you'll see a series of targets and then a series of modifiers down at the bottom, which will determine how the actual polygroup will be applied. By default, the polygroup is set to a target of a single poly and one group ID. With it set like this, just hover over a poly and click, and you will generate a new polygroup on the poly you click on. At any time, if you want to change the polygroup that you are applying, just simply click and hold, and while holding your pen to your tablet or your mouse button down, tap Alt and it will cycle to a new polygroup. Then you can continue on clicking and assigning polygroups. If you come across a time when you want to actually keep this polygroup here and apply it elsewhere, simply come over a polygroup you want to copy, click, and while clicking and holding the mouse or pen down, hold Shift, and you will now copy that polygroup. Now with this polygroup copied, now simply click on any other polygroups, and that polygroup will be applied.
Seems like kind of
To
an
do that
awkward
function
way
one
to
more
do
time,
it,
just hover over a
also it
polygroup you
seems
want
alright.
to copy, click, and then hold Shift, and that will now store that polygroup in the Z-modeler brush. And now when you click again, it will apply that polygroup. Now if I hit spacebar to open up the Z-modeler poly menu again, down here you have quite a few more options or modifiers for the actual polygroup action. These ones down here will automatically generate polygrouping based on the surface of your model. So if I come to the target here and select all polygons instead of a single poly, then I'm going to come through and select 3 sides. Now if I come to my model and just click on any poly, it's going to apply new polygrouping across the entire model and give me a polygroup per axis. So I'm getting a polygroup down the X, a polygroup down a Y, and a polygroup down the Z. So you can see these areas that are all facing the Z direction, right through here, are all the same polygroup. And then the ones that are actually down the X axis are all the same polygroup. Now there is another option which is 6 sides, and this will do a similar process to the polygrouping you just saw, except for the fact that it will apply a different polygroup on the positive X and the negative X, and a different polygroup on the positive Y and the negative Y, and a different polygroup for the positive Z and the negative Z. If you go back into spacebar, you have a few other options in here, and these will just vary your polygrouping based on different procedures. So you have topological, polyorder, point order, relative +1, relative -1, and checker. The checker option is pretty interesting because it will apply a checkered polygroup across your mesh. If you would like to change the checker that it's actually applying, just click, and while you're clicking, tap Alt, and you will get a new checkered polygroup applied to your model. Finally, you have modifiers down here, which is the additive and the pick existing. These are the same processes we kind of just explained, but the actual buttons for them. So if you'd like to pick an existing polygroup rather than holding Shift, you can come down here and select it like so. You also have an option for the amount of coverage to apply the polygroup to, and this will just determine the coverage based on your actual angle values that appear on your model. So you just come through and apply different polygroups to your models as needed, and then using these different targets of polygroup options here, you can use these polygroups to further deform your model as you work.
Alright. Seems pretty cool, pretty straightforward. I think QMesh has that snapping thing. think that's what the Q mesh is doing, is this. It's making that slanted edge. Which is pretty sweet, actually. I'm sure there's tons of ways to use that. Full step. Half step. Let's see, what quarter step? I don't know. This is starting to remind me of Marvel Madness. Mary, stop it. No. No! Alright. Dog is starting to bite me. I'm going to take a 5-minute break. I'll be right back. Oh, I lied. I'm gonna take a 5-minute break in 9 more minutes. She's just gotta suffer. Oh shit. She's knocking shit over. Lay down. Lay down, Mary. Ow. Lay down. Alright, let's see if she gets around to it. Lay down. This dog's nuts. Scale action scales the target polygons. When scaling a single polygon, Zbrush will simply move this point in and out relative to the anchor point defined by the options. Larger point in the models as determined by the path of the polygon loop. Polyloop, whatever. Alright, well let's play with that scale. Let's do this. If I'm scaling polygroup island, yeah, okay. Polyloop. What? Alright. It's doing some funky stuff because this geometry is pretty crazy right now, so I'm not holding too much against it. What? I'm not even gonna save that. Well, let's get some cleaner geometry. Oh wow. Let's see it better. It's weird that it made it so much bigger on that side. I don't quite get that. I think it would scale it more evenly or something. And that's what that did. It was because I had clicked center selected, I think. That's pretty cool. It's a cool way to get something really quickly like that. That's no good, that's no good. Flat island. Sweet. I think you can see, like, this is like it's sort of just like making up geometry, and it's probably even like adding a curve in there. Like if I crease this and then so I think you can add some geometry. So like if you come in here and you do like a bridge and a poly action, so you can add like add more geometry out there, so it gives you more of a different shape. It's actually pretty cool. That looks pretty cool. do. Maybe. Yeah, that looked terrible. Huh. It ended up alright though. I'm just messing around with this now. I think it's a cool shape though. Alright, yeah. I think I'm gonna take a 5-minute break now. Grab some water. Stand up, stretch a little bit. Make sure the dogs aren't freaking out still. Yeah, the dogs aren't freaking out. So I will be right back. Alright, I'm back. Alright, where were we at? And please, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. If I don't know, we'll figure it out. Because if you have questions, I probably have the same questions. Let's save this. Oop, not load. Always remember to save, especially with ZBrush. Like Photoshop seems pretty stable to me. But ZBrush, it just gets, like, the math of it gets overloaded or something, and sometimes it just crashes. Or you did something, the polygons got confused or something. I don't know. I've just had it crash like a bunch. Like you can like divide something that you shouldn't have divided, and bam. All right, we're looking at Z. We're working with. Oh, I'm gonna initialize this just to make it simpler. Z modeler brush, BZM is the hotkey. It lets you like select a poly and do like very specific things to it. And I'm just going through the documentation, trying to figure out as much as I can about this program. If I say something that's wrong, or you know something about whichever tool I'm using, like, feel free, like, let me know what's up. All right, move polygroups. We did that. QMesh I'm confused about, if anybody knows anything about QMesh. I'm in for learning that. Spin. Alright, hold on. So we did some with scale. Scale seemed pretty cool. Let me mess around with scale a little bit more on a cleaner model. I guess I did that. Spherize it. Let's just see what it does. Okay, single click doesn't do anything. Drags don't do anything. It's all polygons. Okay. Does try to make it spherical. Oops. That's pretty cool. It done spherized it. Okay, but I guess so. Alright, let's load. Let's load something weird. And let's okay, weird. Okay, so it's, did it pick that point because I started there or because of the object? Okay, it must be like the center point of the object. Oh, it can kind of collapse the outside. Is it keeping this all together and clean and shit? That's pretty sweet. Oh, where is the floor? All right. I guess sphereize in a way actually seems pretty straightforward. But I bet selecting some of these different things would do some interesting stuff. Like it, what can I do? Just this one polygroup. What happens? Yeah, so. Well. You know, it's at least making it spherical. It's a little bit different than inflate, right? It's not, because it's got like a negative and a positive thing. That's my. Okay, I'm done with sphereize. Spin. Oh, it straight up spins it. How did it pick that corner? Why did it pick that corner? Yeah, that's totally weird. Like, why is it picking the center point? Like, this point. Is it spinning around the axis or something? Mesh center, okay. Local symmetry. Oh, nice. Okay. Polygon center. That's similar. Okay. Click to center. Guess that's just giving it some snapping. Yeah. Alright, cool. Alright, so this spin edge. That's not doing anything. I was having trouble with the edge action spin. It was crashing my system every time I did it. This doesn't seem to be doing anything. Well, that means I'm gonna watch the video.
With the Z-Modeler brush selected, hover over a poly and press spacebar to open up the Z-Modeler poly menu. Locate the Spin Edges action. With the Spin Edges action selected, you'll see a series of targets and then 2 modifiers down below. The Spin Edge action is used to determine which way a nanomesh or micromesh will be oriented on the surface of a poly.
Oh, so I didn't have any nanomesh.
On a surface that does not contain a nanomesh or a micromesh, you will not see any result. Here I just have a few polys populated with an actual nanomesh, and its alignment is set to no alignment. If I hover over one of these polys and click with the Spin Edge active, you'll see that it will rotate the orientation of that actual nanomesh. This process can also be used with other targets such as Flat Island, which will allow you to spin large areas of nanomesh or micromesh across your model.
Alright, that's pretty straight. Fine-tune some nanomeshes. Split action inserts a point in the clicked polygon and connects it to the middle of each surrounding edge. Alright, well, I think this one, I just gotta see it. Oh. Weird. I wonder why we go straight to triangles. Is it? That sort of doesn't make sense, right? I thought it was just gonna make like an X or something. Yeah, that's totally doesn't seem good at all. Yeah, whatever. That's what it does. That's it. Oh, maybe it's like, I don't know. I really don't know what the point of that is. Transpose is transpose. Unweld action disconnects the target polygons, creases the border edges that retain their shape when they smooth. Extruded polygons are created to keep the original shape visibly unwelded. Alright, let's try it. Unweld. Move polygroup all. What? Symmetry off. make it smaller. I think Unweld is creating a separation there, but I don't quite know how to use that in any meaningful way, you know? Yeah, see how it's like separated? Z-modeler modifiers. There are a few settings which are universal. Z-modeler's actions and targets. Modifying these are only necessary for very specific purposes. Default flatness and flat target tolerance define the accuracy of flat surface detection performed by some targets. Increasing the value can allow actions to affect slightly irregular areas and larger surfaces. Okay, that's got to be some really, really specific shit. Curve actions. Listed here are actions that affect curves which have been created on a model. The Z-modeler brush is context sensitive. Hovering over a curve and either pressing the spacebar or right clicking will bring up. Oh. So I think you can like. So on the edges, there's a curve thing in there. Shit. Add to curve. So I think so. These lines are the curve, right? And there's even a. I thought there was a point action that had to do with curves. Oh, make curves. Yeah, there you go. Hell. Yeah. All right. So, hovering over a curve brings up a curve actions menu. It's delete and bevel. So, if I want to delete the curve, no, that didn't, or maybe it did work. I don't know what that first one did. Okay, forget it. What? Alright. This song got really weird. It became less not distracting. I'm just gonna skip that song then. Sorry, if I'm trying to do a bevel, single row, let's do 4 row. I don't even know. try that again. Add curve. Let's do soft edge. All curves. Why does it stop there? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, you can't do that. Yeah, why did he... Alright. I think there might be some video for curve action, so I'm just gonna watch those. Just a few of them.
With the Z-Modeler brush selected, hover over a curve and press spacebar to open up the Z-Modeler Curve Action menu. Locate the Bevel action. With the Bevel action selected, you'll have one target and then a series of modifiers down below. Returning your model and hovering over
Why
a
wouldn't
curve,
you just
then
use the
click and
bevel?
dragging will bevel all curves on the actual model.
That's
So you
not
can
what
see
it
here,
did.
anywhere where I had that actual curve established, I now have a nice beveled edge.
Yeah, but that's not what it
Undoing
did at
this
all.
and then pressing spacebar again, we have some modifiers down here. This top row of modifiers will determine how many rows of geometry are generated.
Because
when
I
the
had
bevel is
4 rows
produced.
selected.
So I had it set to single row, so if I change this to 8 rows, and now return my model and click and drag, you'll notice that that beveled edge now has 8 rows of geometry established along the surface. Hovering back over an edge again and pressing spacebar, we have some other modifiers down here at the bottom. These modifiers will determine how hard
Okay, so
or
it's just
soft
an alternative way to
edge will
create a
appear
bevel?
when it's used with dynamic subdivision. Bevel. You'll notice that the rows of geometry in bevel compared to that hard bevel I had originally.
Yeah.
Going back in and undoing that. Hovering over an edge again, we also have the option to make an extreme on your actual model
Sharp
and then
edge.
apply beveling effects like so. Using this with dynamic subdivision, you can start generating some really nice soft areas on your models.
Okay. See that? That was the same video as edge bevel. I don't really get why. With less options.
With the curve target selected, if you hover over any curve and simply click, that curve will be deleted. This allows you to come through and remove individual curves on your actual models. Undoing that process. Using this delete functionality, you can quickly come through and tailor the actual curves on your actual model, and then use these curves with beveling effects or insert mesh curve brushes.
Insert mesh curve brushes might make this worth something, but I don't know.
With the Z-Modeler brush selected, hover over a curve and press spacebar to open up the Z-Modeler Curve Action menu. Locate the Do Nothing action. With the Do Nothing action selected, you'll have one target.
Okay. And let me guess, it does nothing. Okay, cool. Alright. Done with the action section. Woohoo! And with that, I'm gonna take another quick 5-minute break. I will be back in 5 minutes. Alright, I'm back. So I've been doing this thing where I work for 25 minutes and I take a 5-minute break just to rest my eyes, rest my hands. Just give me a second to so I don't get burnt out. And I think I'll do like 25 minutes and then a 5-minute break. I'll do that like 4 or 5 times, and then I'll take like a longer 30 minute break. But that's just my plan. Because this is just, study time for me, Decided to stream it. If you guys have any ideas or questions, let me know. You may know more about this than I do, so any help is like more than welcome. Okay. So this target section might be bullshit. It might just be like, hey, here's the stuff we just went through. Yeah, I think it is actually. Alright, well, going through it as a refresher and to show the stream, I guess, and kind of like, yeah, just make sure I know what this is, so I don't question it later, Edge loops, poly loops. So hell, we'll even, just as practice, we'll make this object. So a cylinder? Like, I know it's a cylinder. Yeah, okay. And if I take click on polygroup. Wait, no. Yeah, I want to change the polygroup. Maybe edge would even work better. I'm not sure. Polygroup edge. Boom. Yeah. Oh shit. I think it's inflated. Well, this is what learning's about, yeah. I'll get faster at it. Just give me a second. Okay, so I want to take this poly group, right? No. I want to inflate all of this poly group. Bam. Kind of. Nah, I want to extrude it. That's what I wanted. Nope, and not the single. All of that polygroup. And then let's extrude flat island. Well, maybe even I want to move. want to move this poly group, align it to axis. Nope. What did I do? Inflate before scale? Huh. I should know how to do that. I'm trying to recreate this object. So I don't know. Definitely not move. Scale might do it. Do I need to create more polygons here? Huh. Border. Yeah, there we go. Still not sure how to do that. I should. Alright, let's do the edge loop complete. Oh, I think maybe? What the hell? Solid loop? Kind of, but so I was saying that that center part is here. I clearly need more geometry, right? So let me do this. Maybe? Crease these edge loops. I don't want to do flat island anymore. I want to do that was it, but that's kind of fucked up. I bet there's like some super easy way to do that. Anyways. So, but that maybe that gives an example of what. So this section of the documents is edge loop, poly loop. So this is okay. We'll take the polygroup tool. So this changes things to different polygroups essentially. No. Well, yeah, we'll do the edge one though. So this is the target right here is a poly loop, so you can see what a poly loop is. So polys are the flat surface, and a loop of polys is connected like this. So oh yeah. So you click the edge, and it takes these edges of. So this is the poly loop. So you could also have a poly loop this way. So let's see. Oops. It's that loop. Depending on which edge you click. So if I clicked on this one, it's going to be this poly loop. If I click on this one, it's going to be this poly loop. See? And an edge loop is so like this outside border right here, that's an edge loop. This is an edge loop. So if we do, I don't know, we'll create some edge loops. So insert single edge loop. Let's see, it creates that line because it's creating an edge loop. All right. Next, point targets. Okay. All right, if we're looking at this object, polygon, edge, point. So the point target, each one of these has a different menu. Point target has its own. So these are by brush radius. Is this so? The brush, like the red circle, it grabs points within that. What was I doing? A move? You have to click. You have to have it selected on a point. That was probably all I did. So it'll grab points based on this circle. So, and I'm doing a move function, so it's allowing it to move, like whatever. Okay. I think a square will be easier to show this. So the green line is the y-axis. The red line is x, I think. So I'll put an x floor on too. Alright, so here's the x-axis. Here's the floor of the x-axis, so what was that showing? Oh, so if I say move infinite x, if I grab this point it'll move all of the points within the x-axis. So, see, it moves that. So you can do some stuff like this. So I'm facing the floor of the x-axis, so everything is aligned here. So I'm going to be moving. Actually, it still seems like it's doing a little bit of brush radius stuff, but I don't know. See, it moved everything that was like yeah, this is even regardless of symmetry. So bam. But see, if even if I clicked here, it's gonna move everything in a line based off of the red one, the x-axis. And then you can align it to the y or z, and it's infinite depth, so it's gonna grab every point. So if I change this to z-axis, grab it, bam, every point that's associated with that. Infinite x, y, z, I don't quite understand how that's... It probably is just like... has to do with the way you're facing, maybe? It's probably literally camera position, so it's like... I don't know. I really don't know. Okay, maybe I can find out. Infinite XYZ, the infinite, okay. Infinite XYZ target is automatically selecting the point which are aligned with the cursor and located on the working plane of the selected axis. Well, how is there a selected axis? How do you select the axis? I thought that's what I was doing. Nah, oh well. Infinite depth. Infinite depth. Oh. It's just like, it's not really gonna be anything. It's just sort of a random object right now. I'm just going through the documentation to try to figure out like how the tools work, you know. I guess maybe I could. Nah, I'm literally just going through the documentation. I mean, this might even be kind of boring. I don't know. But I'm trying to get a handle of like literally like what can ZBrush do, you know? Yeah, I've got kind of an abstract background too, so sometimes I'm just making weird shapes, and I enjoy making weird shapes. All right, edge targets. You know what? I've gone through that. I've gone through this section. I probably should have gone through this section before I went through the other one, the actions. Because it's like the target is like what the action is gonna take place on. All right, quick mesh. Is that what I've been... Yeah, okay. So yeah, I've been using this a bunch actually. This initialize thing. So if you have if you want to just have some fresh, like clean geometry, and you can change these, give it different parameters, and it'll give you more geometry. You do cylinders, and the X, Y, and Z are which thing they're aligned to. Yeah, and you can get this thing to look way different based on these. Let's see, so there's 25 this way. Or something. It's like 10 this, 10 around. I usually go with cubes. I assume the Z modeler stuff is mostly for hard surface modeling. Don't have UVs. Okay, the quick mesh primitive has primarily been designed to provide optimized primitives for the ZBrush Z-modeler brush, but because it generates a polymesh 3D object, it can also be used in association with nearly all other ZBrush sculpting features. Yeah, so like everything we're doing here, like, let's see. So like, even this crazy thing, like all of this stuff, it's still a polymesh. So you can still come in here and grab like a clay tool or whatever, blob tool, and divide it a whole bunch of times and do like real, just like straight up sculpting to it, Yeah, and then but then you can also even come back and I think with the Z-modeler brush and still use these tools to create more geometry. Oh, interesting. Alright, so quick start to make a starter cube. Yeah. Well, this is pretty straightforward, but so no matter what's here, if you go over to this under the tools menu, if you go to initialize, Bam, cube. Shift F will turn those on, but you can also do it here. I want it to be, let's say 6. Cube. Bam. That's how you get like real quick geometry just to like get in there and go. And then like you can even come in and do deformations to this, you know, change the size of it, put a twist on it, like whatever. Put a twist on it and then come in. Still do a bevel. You know, it's like these tools will still work. You know? Move an edge, like whatever. Alright, so Z-Modeler brush, I think maybe we've kind of covered most of it. I mean, there was a lot of tools in that brush. Let's try remeshing. Remeshing subtools. To remesh one or more subtools, go to Tools, Subtool, make visible all subtools which need to be remeshed. Okay, so this only affects visible subtools. Let's see. That's one thing I don't know quite how to do yet. Is I know you can take like insert cube mesh or whatever. So that's not a different subtool. You know what? I'm not exactly sure how to add. So I'm assuming you can just take a tool and make it a subtool, but I'm not sure how to do that. So I'm just gonna. But for some reason, I know how to copy a subtool. So there's a duplicate button. I just click duplicate. A pen, maybe that's it. Yeah, okay. That's what it was. I need a refresher on how this what? Yeah, I don't know exactly how the subtool menu works. And in this widget, I've been move widget just I know that this is a powerful tool that like once you know exactly how it relates to everything, I just don't. I used to. I forgot. Okay, we're working on this remesh subtool. Combining different subtools with operators to create a large amount of variation for your remeshing of models and to create a base mesh that you need, you will by default combine all subtools to create a new mesh. You can also subtract the subtools of your choice or request the computing of an intersection. Alright. Alright, what the hell? Okay. So I think it's gonna combine these. Remesh. Remesh it all. Oh god. Well, okay, I think that's because of the resolution, right? I guess maybe it must give a nicer surface for painting on. What? These little X's and Y's. What? Oh man, I don't know what I'm doing. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Alright, trying to figure out what this remeshing subtools thing is. Oh, right. Okay, so I think I get that. I don't know. Okay, so... Alright, that thing's too complicated. Why am I still seeing this thing? Oh. Okay. Let's go back to basics. I'm gonna initialize something. Let's do a cube. Okay. Alright, let's try something different. Polymesh 3D. I want this to be a cube. Subtools menu. Let me just try duplicating it. Alright. I'm even going to use the Z modeler brush. Move. Where's all polygons? All polygons. Bam. Okay. Visibility. Alright, so if I go... So, okay. Merge visible. What does that do? Nope. Shit. I wish these documents weren't so vague right here. I think it's just to like combine stuff. Remesh. Damn, I don't know what that means. Okay, so it just made... What is this third subtool? I don't understand it. Fuck. Delete it. Okay. Yeah, okay, see? That's what I wanted it to do. Okay, I guess that's it. That's what remesh does. So that might be a nice place to start. Start like moving clay around, you know. Alright, I think it's lunchtime. I'm kind of winding down. I think I made some progress. Thanks for watching. I don't know, it was cool. I had a couple people come through today. Mousy Code and Horse Tar. That was cool. I hope you guys follow. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna shoot for streaming maybe. It's either gonna be like really early in the morning, like now, or at like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, or it's gonna be like 6 or something at night. 6 or 9-ish. I don't know. Yeah. And maybe like once I really get into this, I'll just like stream. Like I don't know. I mean, it's been kind of cool today. Just even a couple people stopping in. Seems to be worth it to me. It doesn't really get into the way of my workflow. In fact, I feel like more motivated to do this because like I can't just like, oh well, I'll take a break now because like I'm in the middle of the stream. I mean, except for like the 5-minute breaks, but that's just to stand up and not be sitting here all day. Alright, well, good game. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Later.